Plenty of time. Looking deep downfield. He's got it! Touchdown, SaberCats!
Welcome to SaberCats Weekly here on Comcast Sportsnet. I'm Chris Townsend. A tough loss to Philadelphia on the road this past Sunday. Coming up next, we'll go over the highlights with the head coach, Darren Arbette. We'll also talk to one of the most dominant players in the league, Joe Sykes. That's all coming up next right here on SaberCats Weekly.
Hi SaberCat fans, I'm Tisha and this is my second year dancing with the Saber Kittens. My favorite part about being about the games is being able to dance and cheer in the end zones. Let's go Cats!
The Saber Kitten of the Week has been brought to you by Norton by Symantec.
Well, now joining us on SaberCats Weekly, the head coach of the San Jose SaberCats and owner Darren Arbette. Coach, thanks for coming on the program, and obviously it wasn't an easy one in Philadelphia for you.
Yeah, I didn't do a good job preparing them for the game. They didn't play well. It was a disaster all the way around.
Let's go over to the highlights of the game. Your defense would get a stop on 4th and 7 against Philadelphia, showing you once again how strong this unit really is.
Yeah, they played pretty good. Besides not tackling Derek Ross, they played well, I thought, but we just couldn't get the win.
You get the first score of the game, Odie Armstrong for 1 yard, and Coach, since he's been back, he's been so strong for you in the run game.
Yeah, Odie can run the football and he can block. He's one of the good ones in this league.
How much do you hate when you miss that first PAT and you look up on the scoreboard and it's 6-0 instead of 7-0?
Yeah, you want every point you can get. It's always going to come down. Some of these games are going to be tight, 4 or 5 plays separated, and you need those extra points.
And then you go into the second quarter and Philadelphia would get their first score. Derek Ross, this guy is just an absolute beast, so tough to bring down.
Yeah, we made him look good. We just didn't tackle. We didn't do a good job hitting him low, grabbing him, and we had talked about it during the week, but obviously I didn't talk about it enough and get it over to the players.
Your next series, you would go for a field goal. It'd be a botched field goal, and Nick Bertouille would get hit awkward, and he would go down and he looked hurt. How is your kicker right now?
Oh, he's not bad. He should be okay, but once again, that's something I didn't work on much last week, and it showed.
How scary is that when you have your kicker down on the ground like that, looking like he's in such pain?
Yeah, I'm just kicking myself and, needed to prepare for him a little better, and I didn't do that.
And then right after that, one play, Marquis White, they would go deep, be 27 yards. They would get on the board with that big touchdown, making it 14-6.
Yeah, big target, tall target, I should say, and threw the ball to him, and he made a nice play.
Nathan Stanley would then throw his first pick of the game. Stepping back, he had pressure, throwing it off his back foot. What did you see in that interception?
Didn't have him prepared. Didn't give him the looks that they were giving us in the game, and totally my fault. I should have been prepared for it.
And then Derek Ross, the big running back for Philadelphia, would come back on a screen play and go 32 yards and make it 21-6. He's one of the greatest running backs who ever played in this league. Tough to bring down.
Yeah, our guys should make those plays, so something that we worked on, and I have to say it again. I went over it. Obviously, I didn't say the right things to make them get it.
Curry in motion. Nathan Stanley looking for Curry. He's got it for a touchdown.
Well, you'd get back into this game because it was 21-6. Then you'd have Dominique Curry come in motion, run an out pattern for a touchdown to make it 21-13, and now we got a ball game.
Yeah, we closed the gap. The guys started to play and closed the gap.
So at halftime, it's 21-13. What did you tell your troops there at half?
Someone has to make a play. Everyone has to make a play. If we all just make plays, we can get back in this football game.
Roundabout on first down, picked off. It's intercepted. Roundabout threw it right to Joe Sykes.
I'm glad you said that because someone did make a play. Joe Sykes, a guy who we're having on the program today, got the interception for you to start the second half, and it looked like, okay, this is exactly what you needed.
Yeah, Joe's one of the best to ever play in the game and read it real nice and got an interception and play that we needed.
4th and 1, there'd be a flag, but Odie Armstrong would get into the end zone. It was kind of an odd play, but in the end, it would make the score 21-20.
Yeah, Odie got into the end zone, and when we run the football, we have to be able to get into the end zone, and we're starting to do that.
And then Reggie Gray, usually sure-handed, been great for you this year. I thought that on this next drive, the interception, the ball a little high, but went through Reggie Gray's hands. I'm not going to put that one on Nathan Stanley, are you?
Everyone did. No one played well, Chris. And we didn't coach well, we didn't play well. You can pick, I mean, it's a handful of plays that everyone, had a part in that loss.
And then we'd be in the fourth quarter, and Marquis White would have a battle with Cleavon Thomas in the middle, but in the end would be a touchdown, and that would make it 35-20. And that's when you start to think, okay, this might be going the wrong way.
We got to make plays, and the guys understand that. I understand that. I got to make better calls, and I understand that also.
Derrick Ross, once again, would be so strong. He hurt one of your players, then scored a touchdown to make it 42-20, and then pretty much the game was in doubt for there. What did you say to your players after the game?
Oh, we have to tighten up. Everyone should be embarrassed what we did on the field. I'm embarrassed the way I coached. We got to get this thing going in the right direction.
So the final in this one, 42-20, but once again, everything is already established, who you're going to play in the playoffs, where you're going to play in the playoffs, but I know that doesn't satisfy you.
Not at all, Chris. You got to have pride, and anytime you have an opportunity to play football, you have to go out and play, and we didn't do that, as well as coach.
Wardrobe has been provided by Casera Clothers.
Ivy Calvin was one of the original San Jose SaberCats back in 1995. Now the star of Storage Wars on A&E. He stopped by the SAP Center. Check it out.
All right, here we go. We're gonna party unit. I got for 10. So let's wait. You got it for $10. Lock it up. Let's go. All righty. Here we go, everybody. What are you gonna pay? I gotta go. Guess what? Fair warning tonight. So let's wait for $90. Ivy, $90.
Hello, I'm Ivy Calvin. I played here 20 years ago on the inaugural team. We had a great season then. It was all good. Came back for a little friendly visit, check out things, and see how they're going. 20 years is a long time, though it only felt like a couple days ago. I grew up in California, Ridgecrest, California, Mississippi, a combination of the two. So I'm good to go. I can pretty much go anywhere. Mississippi and California, it's like two ends of a tree. So wherever you put me, I'm like at home. My coach told me to go try out for a tryout that San Jose was having. I think it was in Orange County. I went down there, and a few weeks later they said, we want you to come to another one. I think that was in Santa Clara or somewhere right there, and I came down to that next one. And about 2 weeks later they said, we want you to come down and practice with us. And here I am. It wasn't a long road. I was ready to play, physically fit, fast, and strong, and that's what SaberCats were looking for. I left here as a SaberCat happy, still in great shape, so I became a boxer. I boxed for a few years, and I had an accident. I peeled my scalp back and messed me up real bad, so I couldn't pass the sanctions of a boxer. So back then, MMA was not sanctioned. Anybody who wanted to fight could fight, so I did a little bit of MMA for a few years. It was great. It was great. It was when you got a physical body and you're just eager to hit something, there's no place to be. And then I became a mover. I owned a moving company, and one day I'm moving a lady, and she was talking to me, and they had an auction right next door to where we were moving her into her storage. And I had a big truck and a bunch of guys. I said, hey, can I buy the locker? They said, only if you win it. I won it, and I've been doing storages ever since. A couple years later, A&E TV comes along and says, hey, you want to be a buyer? And I said, yeah, and here I am.
Wow, that means bid now.
When you're bidding in your hometown, you're almost like you're on a picnic. When you're bidding with those guys, it's like you're at the Super Bowl. Every auction is a Super Bowl, and you just can't seem to get past it. It's not like a playoff game or a preseason game. Every auction is a Super Bowl, and that could be the one where you strike it rich or the one where you get broke. So it's with those guys, you got to up your game. You just can't buy a room and go home and not think about it. Every room is important.
$400 big bucks, Ivy.
400, baby. Don't be mad because you want to be me.
I'm not mad. I'm thankful for you. What would we do without you? Bid him up, Ivy.
Not everybody can be the king. In an individual sport, you know what you're going to do, how you're going to do, you know when you're going to stop and compete and how far you're going to go. In a team sport, not all the time is everybody there with you. Sometimes they don't feel as good as you do. You don't feel as good as they do. But when you wake up in the morning by yourself, you always know what you want to do. A team sport, the good thing about a team sport is when you're winning, you got somebody to celebrate with. It's like fishing. You catch a big fish by yourself, it ain't the same. When you're losing, hey, it's nice to have somebody to cry your shoulders on. But when you're by yourself, you ain't no way to cry with.
All right, guys, you ready to go? Yeah! Cross my fingers and hope they buy.
Ooh, Coach Arbet was pushing. He every day in practice, he made sure you was ready for the game. He works you and works you and works you, and he made sure that his technique was the one you learned, and when you got it down, you were good to go. He did something right, because I don't remember ever getting beat by anybody, so he must have coached me good.
This SaberCats Week 19 Defensive Player of the Game is defensive lineman Joe Sykes. In a tough game for San Jose, Sykes came up big with an interception and added 1 tackle, giving the SaberCats hopes of a comeback in their eventual loss to the Philadelphia Soul. The Defensive Player of the Game has been brought to you by Fries.com. Now joining us on SaberCats Weekly, we like to welcome back home Joe Sykes. Joe, great to have you on the program.
Thanks,
once
Chris.
Again.
Thanks
Good to see you, big fella.
Yeah.
How does it feel to be back in San Jose?
Feel great. I'm missing, like some of my teammates, the coaches, and nothing like home, Feel good. They welcome me with open arms and just ready to go.
I know it was tough for you to leave. You went to San Antonio.
Right.
It was tough to leave San Jose. Why?
This is where I started, and I feel like, that was my roots. I really didn't want to go, but, circumstances.
Business.
It took me there, but now I'm back, and they welcomed me back. Coach Arbetton wanted me back, and the opportunity presented itself, and now I'm back to win a championship.
And when I think about Joe Sykes, I think about one of the guys in this league who can actually dominate the game.
Yeah.
This is a league that's set up for the offense. It's set up for the quarterbacks.
Exactly.
It's set up for a ton of points.
Exactly.
But there are some guys
tough.
Defensively that can dominate. I see you as
tough.
one of those guys.
Yeah, it's tough. Me not having a camp. Obviously I was in another league. I was working out for the big field. So a lot of preparation changed for me. I didn't work out for the arena. Obviously, I changed my preparation, my mindset. So when I got the call, to come back, I had to hurry up and change my mind from outdoor to dominate indoor again. My transition is cool. I'm working. I'm getting toward there.
For your position, how much different is the outdoor game from the indoor game?
Oh, a lot different. Outdoor, I might, I can be in a wide 9. I can be all the way out, and the O-lineman might not touch me at all. I don't have to make no contact with her. But in the arena, I'm like head up, and by is like real quick. So it's a lot, And then I had to drop some pounds when I went to Canada, like 15. So then I started gaining it back when I came back. So yeah, it got to be a lot, run 50 yards on one play because it feels so wide. In the arena, I might not run 10 yards that one.
Well, you got an interception last game, and you got to run a little bit.
I
Tell us
know.
about that pick.
It was, I saw it, I read it, but I was go run it all the way back, but he got the inside of my leg. I was trying to. I think if I would have got loose from him, it would have been over. That was sick. So.
When you think about the fact that you haven't played all these games, it's you don't have the training camp, but you don't have the wear and tear of playing the entire season. How much is that going to help you going forward, especially when we get into playoff time?
Yeah, it's going to help a lot because my body is still more fresher than playing all the previous games before. So just more so, it's a mental thing for me. Preparing is how I prepare each week. I've been through a lot of camps already before, so I'm kind of glad that way I can go into a playoff, pretty much unscathed, like a couple games under my belt, and I should be good.
Rate this defense compared to the other defenses you've played with in the Arena League, because this defense is really good.
Oh man, one of the top 2 that I've been on in the arena. From top to bottom, DBs to D-line. So yeah, definitely top 2. Jay Stu, obviously, what I'm saying? He's a beast in the middle. Then you got Maka. I can go down the whole line. Then the DBs, you got the Hall of Famer that came out of retirement. So Ken Fontenette. Everybody is gelling. I can name everybody. So I'm just happy to be a part of it, just connecting so we can be in full stride by the time the playoffs start. That's all it's about. It's a team thing. It's not about me. I'm just trying to, work within the scheme and get everything done and just win. That's all it's about.
Is it a tough situation? You lose last week in Philly. You got Iowa coming up. These games technically don't mean anything. You already know who you're playing in the playoffs. You already know where you're playing. Is that a tough mindset getting ready for games when you know that it doesn't mean anything?
Yeah, it is. It's tough. But that's the thing about being professional. When game time, you got to let everything go. Whatever's going on in your personal life, you got to let it go for the 3 hours and get ready to play and get ready for the, stay healthy and get ready for the playoff run. So.
Well, it's absolutely great to have you back with the SaberCats family.
I'm glad to be back.
Good luck the rest of the way, and go get that arena title.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Thank you.
Good to see you, Joe. The SaberCats Week 19 Offensive Player of the Game is wide receiver Dominique Curry. Playing in front of his hometown, the standout rookie wide receiver didn't disappoint, finishing with 4 receptions for 55 yards, 1 touchdown against Philadelphia. Offensive Player of the Game has been brought to you by Fries.com.
Now it's time to get behind the face mask. Hey, SaberCats! What is your favorite social media platform?
Social media platform, my favorite, I got like them all, man. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, I'm on all of them, so check me out.
Favorite social media? I'd say Instagram. I think a picture's worth 1,000 words.
Instagram, Magna Carta 23.
Snapchat. I communicate with people back home, and Dave makes some funny Snapchat. So.
I'm a Facebook guy. Facebook.
I'm not huge on social media, but I do spend a little bit of time on Facebook.
I love music, so for me it'd be something dealing with music.
Facebook.
I don't have time for social media, not me.
I don't do that kind of stuff, man. I'm old school. Yeah, that's why I don't even know what social media is.
Cats Questions has been brought to you by Norton by Symantec. The head coach and owner of the SaberCats, Darren Arbett, with us once again here on SaberCats Weekly. And Coach, Nathan Stanley had 3 interceptions in this game. One of them I'm not going to put on him. Was this the worst game you've seen him play so far since you've made him the starter?
I think Nate would want to get this game back, and I would definitely want to get this game back and coach him up a little better during the week. And like I said, it starts with me, and I didn't do a very good job.
When you look at the situation, we talked about it, and it's going to be the same thing going in this week with Iowa. They're playing for everything. You're not playing for everything. How tough is that?
Oh, Mike Hohen's a good football coach. He's going to have those guys ready to play. They have a fullback, Derek Steiner, who played here with us for a while, and he can run the ball really well. And I know Mike Hohen's, he's going to look at that tape, and he's going to give Derek Steiner the ball a lot.
Yeah, they've struggled this season. When you think about yourself in this last game, what can the SaberCats do to get better, to get ready for the postseason in this last game in Iowa?
Everything. Every phase of this football team needs to get better, including the coaches. We need to get better. We haven't been doing a very good job the last few weeks. We've been floating, and everyone understands that.
Do you like ending the season on the road, going up against a team that you know it's going to give you a good fight?
We just need to play another football game, and I want to play another football game and see where we're at, because practice is going to be tough this week.
Yeah, it's one of those you didn't want to end with a performance like that on the season.
Not at all. And the guys understand that. The coaches understand that. Total team loss.
You've won 3 championships. Since this is the last game of the regular season, how important is it to go into the postseason with that good momentum, feeling good about yourself and having a win?
We just want to be playing well. We didn't play well. The guys understand that. We didn't coach well. We didn't take advantage of the week of practice or the preparation for that football game, and that's something we can't do.
I can tell this game really bothered you.
Oh yeah, it's still stuck under there, and the guys understand that, and we got to right this ship.
And when you think about going to Iowa, it's been a place, and Mike Hohen's, you guys have a long history. What do you think about finishing in Iowa?
Another football game, another opportunity to play. There's a bad taste in our mouth right now. Just an opportunity to get this taste out of our mouth.
And when you look at your team and you look at your defense, yeah, the offense wasn't great. Defense struggled against Derrick Ross, but you're not going to face Derrick Ross in this game, or you're not going to face him once you get into the playoffs unless you see him in the Arena Bowl. So far, though, your defense, even though despite that game, pretty darn good, Coach.
They're playing very well right now. I'm proud of the defense, Coach Walker, Coach Jarnigan. They're doing a nice job, but it's a team game, Chris, and right now we took the L as a team.
How do you like the depth of your team, especially when you look at the interior of your defensive line? Talk about the depth they have, also linebacker.
I like the depth on this football team. We need to get better, though. The players need to get better. They need to gel more. They need to have a better week of practice. I need to have a better week of preparation as far as game planning.
How important is it for you to have the players pushing each other at practice to where we get to the point to where maybe practice is tougher than playing in the games?
Competition is great, and that's what every coach wants, is a lot of competition, because it brings out the best in all the players.
And Joe Sykes, we had on the program today. When you think about Joe, he got the interception last week. We know 2 years ago he was so big for you. I know he's a big-time playmaker. Talk about Joe and what he can mean for this team going forward.
A lot. Everything. Joe can really rush the passer. He can stop the run. And the thing with Joe, and I tell him week in and week out, he just needs to be consistent because he's going to go down as one of the best to ever play.
Yeah, you think about a guy who can just dominate a football game. There's a lot of good players in this league, but how many guys can truly go out there and dominate?
And he's one of them that has an opportunity to do that, but mentally, he has to be there week in and week out, and he understands that.
All right, Coach, last game of the year is going to be in Iowa. Good luck to you. Get a victory, and we'll see you back here at the SAP Center for the playoffs.
Hey, thanks, Chris.
The San Jose SaberCats will finish the regular season in Iowa against the Barnstormers on Saturday. You can see the game right here on Comcast Sportsnet at 5 o'clock, or you can hear the game on KMBR 1050. Of course, we'll have all the highlights for you next week right here on SaberCats Weekly. We'll see you next time.
SaberCats Weekly has been brought to you by Dr. Sharma South Bay Orthopedic and Sports Medicine, Casera Clothers, Norton by Symantec, and Fries.com.